What's going on, guys? I've noticed a lot of returning players from when Gamigo or Area Games own the game, and you're coming back now and you have tons of questions because a lot of stuff has changed. So, yeah, I'm hoping to sort of teach you guys some stuff about how the game works now with this video. Try to keep it kind of brief, but, kind of give you the basics, and then you can dig deeper and learn more about some of the more complex things. Anyways, this video is for the Fox Games server, which is the official server. These guys have the rights to the game. It is not a private server. This is the real server, so I think it's the right server for you to be playing on. It is a very active server. There's PvP in all the zones. I'd say the most active are 80 for sure is crazy active. Multiple raids fighting multiple times a day, every single day. 15 also seems really, really active. There's probably a raid or two fighting, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 times a day, pretty much every day. 30 is pretty active, maybe a raid or two a couple times a day, every day. And 60's the least active, maybe 2 to 5 tabs fighting, a time or two every day is what I would guess for that one. I don't really do that one, so yeah, it's overall just a really active server, though. It's the official one, definitely the one you guys want to be playing on. So I guess we can get into some more of the specific info now. So I guess probably one of the first things to cover, what exactly is this server? Basically, when Fox Games took over, they merged the 4 major regions together. They merged the US server, the EU server, the ES server, and the PT server. So we have tons of different players from tons of different regions, and it is very active, like I said before. Sometimes you'll see different tags next to players' names. Trying to see, here's one here, I guess. So I'm going to click on him. This guy with the ES tag, that means that he was from the ES server and he never changed his name. So that's one of the tags you'll see. You can also see him for EU, US, PT, whatever. That's what that means. I've got a GS tag because I am a game sage for Fox. And Husk here, you can see his blue name and GM. He's a game master. Basically, a game master is they're the bosses. They run everything. They have all the power. They have all the authority. If they tell you to do something, you have to do it. These are the guys that answer tickets. These are the guys that make a lot of the influential and important decisions. Whereas a GS like me, we're kind of more of a bridge between the players and the GMs, and back the other way, the GMs to the players. We try to express concerns, collect info. We try to report bugs. But ultimately, we are volunteers, we're players, we're part of the Fox staff, but, there's a huge difference between a GM that has all the authority and power and a GS that's a player volunteer at the end of the day. So, yep, the 2 big rules with GSs are you have to listen to us during events when we command, go here, or don't attack this, or don't start, the boss, or whatever it is. You have to listen to that because we're extensions of the GMs at that point. And if you're doing PvE and we talk to you, you have to answer us to make sure that you're not botting. So, yeah, that's kind of the GS rules. GMs have all the power, do whatever they say, they are in charge. So, one of the first things you guys probably want to understand coming back to the game is how the economy works. And there have been some pretty big changes. Basically, you used to have like a 4.2 bill gold cap here. And, there was gold bar merchants in both of the capital cities and a couple other places that sold you gold bars that were worth 100 mil, and you could sell them, yada yada, to kind of store your gold. But now it's a lot less restrictive. The way this new system works is basically 100,000 of these copper is worth 1 of these silver, 10,000 of these silver is worth 1 of these gold, and then you can have, a million or a billion or whatever gold here. And why that's useful, let's open up the auction house down here. If we look at, let's see here, let's find like a maxed piece of gear for one of the classes. Let's try like this top here, for example. So this is a pretty decent grudges for Guardian. So a Guardian top, you can see it's listed here for 26 gold, 2,500 silver, and then a little bit of copper. Before, this would have been like 26.25 bill. Basically. So you wouldn't have been able to list this on the auction house because 26 bill is more than 4.2 bill, which was the old max. But now we can like list things like this and actually have them sell, and it's just a lot less restrictive. So yeah, I guess I really like the new system. A maxed tank pair of Guardian pants here for 50 gold. It would have been 50 bill before. You couldn't have sold it on the auction house without missing out on like 45 bill or whatever. So much, much better for sure. Okay, now that we sort of understand the economy, I think the thing that makes the most sense to look at next might be pets, costumes, and wings. There are several different types, and different types are better for different classes. Obviously, a priest wants something different than what a hunter wants, for example. So, yep, there's a couple of different types. I want to show you guys sort of what are considered the best ones for each of the classes, and that way there you kind of know what you should be looking to buy or looking to collect from your loyalty rewards or however you want to do it. So I'll put up some pictures now. You guys can pause the video and take a good look and kind of get that figured out. Okay, now that we've looked at pets, costumes, and wings, I think it's time to take a look at the actual gear sets that you're going to be using. These will be the best gear sets that all the endgame PvPers are using at this point. There are 12 different ones, 2 factions with 6 classes each, so make sure that you're buying the right one for your class and faction, otherwise you're going to be sad. So I'll put those up, and after that I'll put up some of the newer lapises that are in the game. Some of them are pretty cool, so you'll want to figure out what you're going to be linking in your gear and kind of what's best. Okay, the next couple things to teach you guys about in terms of best in slot gear are eternal accessories. There's 5 of them, obviously. There are 3 different types. Cosmos, like these ones are for magic damage dealing classes. Onyx, like these down here, are for defensive classes, Priest, Oracle, Wreck Defender, that sort of a thing. And if you're a Strength, Dex, Luck class, you use ones called Bone Spike. So those are only for the 80 zone, but those are pretty important. They give you a good bit of stats to get. We have a guide about those in the Discord you can check out to learn more. Next thing, again, only for the 80 zone, are these pre-LE'd weapons. You can see this one's like Water 2, for example, with no lapis linked in it to give it an element. And it also comes with a tiny, tiny bit over 600 additional attack damage above the other best in slot 80 weapons. So pretty important to get these, especially if you're a damage dealing class. We have a guide again about those in the Discord you ought to check out. And the last thing are these new offhands. These are the newest addition to the game, maybe 3 or 4 months old at the time of making this video. But again, we have a guide for these. These are actually for all tiers of PvP, so 15, 30, 60, and 80. Each class has their own type of offhand to get. So again, decent bit of stats on these, pretty important to get. So check those out if you want to be using best in slot stuff. Alright, the next thing I want to show you guys is how to get to Baltigate, which is actually where I was taking the last clips in the video. So you can see where I'm on Fury, I'm here in Glitter. We come over to this accessory merchant over here. Hopefully you're, I don't know, level 10 or 15 or something by the time you're doing this. He'll sell you one of these bootlegger recall runes for, what, 23,000 copper? So not very much. I already bought one, but you'll want to buy one. You'll activate this. You get teleported to the underground auction house, which is probably a place most of you guys are pretty familiar with if you played back, I don't know, 10 years ago or whatever. You come over here, and I already have the item, so it isn't lit up, but this woman here, Adili Vosine or whatever, if you talk to her, she'll give you a quest, you click accept, and you get given one of these guys, which is a Baltigate teleport rune. The good thing about this is that it will never like deplete. You can have one of them and you can use it unlimited times. So it's a permanent item. You just do it and it'll bring you to Baltigate. So yeah, pretty useful to have. And once we're in Boltagate, I have a couple other things to show you guys. So I guess let's see. Maybe the first thing up here is all these NPCs. This is to the south if you look at the map. This region, obviously. They're this is where you actually do all of the GM tokening to get stats like this on your weapons, or like this on your gloves, for example. So there's guides on this, so you guys ought to check those out. I don't want to make this too long. This is also where you do faction change. This is the item faction change. If you're Fury to Light, you could switch to Light here. If you're Light, you can switch to Fury here if you have the corresponding item. So again, trying to keep this a little bit brief, but over here we've got the warehouse. Over here we've got bank teller. Down there is the liquid medicine merchant who sells you potions. Portals to guild houses if you're Light there, to Fury there. A couple of teleport guys there if you're Light. Teleport guys if you're Fury there. Guild stuff here. Join a guild, leave a guild, whatever. Claim your rank points here at the warrior. And down here is the token system. So when I had this pulled up earlier, you might have seen the different types of tokens I have. There's a guide on these again, but you get these by farming mobs, leveling up, doing quests and stuff, and you can trade in your copper tokens, for example. 13 tokens will get you one of these cheese, which is a potion. 250 will get you a 7-day res rune. 100 gets you a 7-day eternal endurance, you know, things like that. Something I do like to point out, there's multiple pages of these, so make sure you click on that so you're not missing, you know, half the rewards or whatever. So yep, all the way up to Obsidian, and you get those from rarely from bosses, sometimes from some kind of complicated quests and stuff. But yeah, that's some of the basics. I'm sure I'll come up with some more here, but for now, that's probably some of the basics. Okay, another couple things I wanted to show you guys. I showed you one of them earlier. These buttons down here are very important. You can just open up the auction house from anywhere, search for anything. I don't know. My gear set is called Corrupt, so you know, we can look at Luminous Corrupt, and it is case sensitive. You do have to type the capital C. If I type in like Corrupt like that, only this thing comes up because it's incorruptible, so make sure you spell things right. Events, this is for all the zones. You can see 15 that has this, I'm not even going to say that word, but all these things. In 80, if we kill Lumen or Zephy, you start the event, it goes over here. You start the event, it goes over here. Start the event, goes over here. If you're in the raid that gets the kill on Zephy or Lumen or the Cinderwalker Valthig, then this claim reward option will light up, and you can just claim all these rewards. They get sent right to your inventory. You can do them however many times a day you want, and you know, you finish it, it'll go from here to over here. You can reclaim it, kill it again if it's possible, and yeah, kind of a nice little system. I guess probably the gem store important to show you guys. If you're buying gems, this is where you spend them. Multiple tabs here. You can scroll down on all of them, obviously. You can check out these, use the auction house to figure out what the best item to buy is for gold value, sort of a thing. There's also loyalty rewards on the Fox Games website. If you log into Fox Games, you go to the store tab, and then you go to loyalty rewards. It's right there. You can claim one reward from each column in each loyalty, so you can get quite a lot of things. They get sent over to your bank teller over there, claim them, put them on the auction house, sell them, bada bing, bada boom, you get money, you can start buying your gear set and start doing PvP. The last thing I wanted to show you guys, most things can be sold on the auction house. The things that can't in general, pets, mounts, costumes, and wings. You also can't sell pre-LEs or offhands or eternal accessories, but these four things, the costume, pet, wings, mount, if you have one of these items called an item transfer token, you can go right here, right click, you would do item transfer. It opens up a little trade screen. The person that's selling the item has to have the item transfer. We have a guide on this too, I think, but You have the item transfer, you would put in the wings that you want to sell, for example, click accept, the other person gets them, and then they have to do a separate trade to trade you the gold, which kind of stinks, but for now that's the system that we have. So that's just kind of a brief rundown of some of the things off the top of my head. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. If you have more specific questions, like I said, check out the guides, kind of read up on all those, ask other players, ask the GSs, ask the GMs maybe. There's a lot to learn, but hopefully this was a good start, guys. Thanks.